Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. How's everyone doing this evening? How you doing this evening? Motivational Moments with Gigi Smith. Motivational Moments with Gigi Smith. I'm going to tag a few people right quick. Won't be before you long. Won't be before you long. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How's everyone doing? All right. All right. Good evening. As you can see, the topic is developing communication skills or develop communication skills. And I have 10 tips for you in developing your communication skills. Developing your communication skills. If you have ever gone to any type of seminar and they tell you the key to communication, the first one is you have to listen. You have to listen. Have you ever been involved in a conversation, or you talking to somebody and they begin to answer you before you finish, or they begin to respond before you finish? That means they weren't listening. You have to listen. Now, mind you, these development communication skills are 10 steps for your success. You have to know how to communicate. You have to know how to communicate. And number one is listen. We have to listen. Don't just pretend that you're listening. You hear them, but what you're doing is you're thinking about your response before they finish. Excuse me. You have to listen and hear them. Hear the person that you're the receiver. You have to hear what the person is saying to you, because you're the one to receiving what they're saying. So you have to listen. Number two, who you talk to matters. Who you talk to matters. You can't talk to everybody about your goals, your visions, your dreams, your business. You can't talk to everybody, because everybody does not have your best interest at heart. So you cannot talk to everybody about what's going on with you. Yes, you're gonna listen. Who you talk to matters. You can't talk to everybody. You can't talk to everybody about everything. You have to be conscious and make a conscious effort when you're building or developing your communication skills. Number one is listen. Number two, who you talk to matters. Number three, body language matters. Have you ever been in a situation, or you've seen it, and someone is talking to another person and the other person is just like this, or their arms are folded? You can't really see it that good. Their arms are folded. That means they're not really paying attention. They really don't want to hear what you're saying. They're not for it. They're not with it for that day. They're not with it. So you have to be careful so that you don't take on these traits of not listening, of not being cognitive about who you're talking to, and about your body language. Your body language speaks volumes. Your body language speaks volumes. And in that body language, your facial expression speaks volumes. See, people used to tell me G, and I'd be like, what? Your face, okay. God's still working on my face. I mean, that's all I can say. And that is a form of nonverbal communication. That's nonverbal communication. And in business, you may be doing some text, you may be doing a writing. And the fourth thing is, check your message before you hit send. Make sure it's grammatically correct. Make sure that it doesn't come off to the receiver as being angry. Anybody who knows anything about typing or writing, anytime you put something in caps, all capital letters, That means that you're angry, you trying to get a point across, but you don't want the person receiving it to get the wrong message. You don't want them, you might just be excited, but they are receiving as you're angry. So watch what you type, watch what you write. Check your message before you hit send. And even in that, be brief and be specific. You don't have, if you're trying to get a point across, let somebody know something, it doesn't have to, your text or your email doesn't have to be 3 and 4 pages long. It can be sweet, simple, to the point, but be specific about what the nuggets that you're trying to get across, the information that you're trying to get across to the audience. You have to be careful about that. Write things down. Anybody who know me, I write things down. You have to write things down. Write things down before you email it. Write things down before you write it in your email. Write things down. So once you write it, see what we don't understand. When you write something, at least for me, when I write something, I'm saying it in my head. So as I'm saying it and I'm writing it, and if something is not right, it's not going to seem right to you. So that's why you write things down. Write it down. We're talking about communication now. We're talking about communication. And guess what? Instead of the email, the texts, the letters, sometimes it's better to just pick up the phone and speak to someone voice to voice. Speak to someone voice to voice. That's a part of communication. That's a part of communication. That's number 7. Sometimes it is better to pick up the phone. Number 8, think before you speak. Think before you speak. Sometimes we can let our mouth overload, and it can get you in some trouble. So think about what you're going to say before it comes out of your mouth. You have to think. You have to make sure you have your thinking cap on so you can think about what you're about to say. So it won't be detrimental to you, your business, your ministry, your life, your place of employment. You have to make sure you think before you speak. And that was number 8. Number 9, treat everyone equal. Do not talk down to anyone. Respect everyone. We can agree to disagree, but we're not going to argue. We're going to respect one another and respect each other's opinion. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. That doesn't mean that you're right or I'm right, but you have an opinion about a situation. You have an opinion about an idea, but we're going to respect one another. We're going to respect each other in our ideas. You never know that level of respect that you build from your communication, that can take you to higher heights, because you're not saying that it's my way or the highway. You're not saying that. That's not being respectful. If you didn't think of the idea, it's not a good idea. That's a negative. It may be a great idea, and you just need to step back from the situation, think about it, and you probably gonna come up with, right, you're right. That probably would work a lot better than what I'm doing right here. So you have to respect one another in business, in ministry, in your life, in your daily walk. You have to respect and demand respect. Don't let nobody walk over you. Don't let nobody disrespect you. You have to demand for people to respect you. And it's all about how you walk, how you carry yourself. So you have to understand that's how that's going to go. It's all about communication. And the last tip, maintain a positive attitude and a smile. Maintain a positive attitude. I see the light at the end of the tunnel, or I see the rainbow. Always have a positive attitude. Don't let anything or anybody make you take on a negative connotation of situations, a negative connotation about yourself, a negative connotation about your business, about what you're capable of doing, about your potential. Always be positive. Always be positive, not conceited, but you know what you have in your hand. You have stepped out on faith with the potential. Just begin to develop your communication skills, because that is going to be your avenue to your success. Start building your communication skills. Start building your communication skills within your home, at your place of employment, at your house of worship, wherever you go. You need to have communication skills. Don't be afraid to don't be afraid to speak with anyone about something that doesn't sit right with you. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Anybody who know me, I ask these questions. Why? What? When? Where? That's just me. I'm gonna ask you some questions. You say do this, I'm gonna say why. I'm gonna say when we gonna do it, what we gonna do, why, how we gonna do it. Those are all the questions that I ask. So you have to learn to build your communication skills. That's the key thing for your success. Your communication skills. You can't say you want to reach the stars and your head is down. You can't even see a star. Hold your head up. When you talk to somebody, hold your head up and speak with them directly. Don't they right here, but you looking over here. Speak to them directly. If there's something that you will need to discuss, you need to get it off of you, you need to understand it, you ask those hard questions. You ask the hard questions. And if it's hard for them to answer, you continue to ask those questions, because those are some questions that you need answered so you can continue to be developed in your life, in your ministry, in your business, in whatever journey you on. Your journeys have to be developed. You don't come here knowing how to write a book. You don't come here knowing how to sing. You don't come here knowing who that I'm an awesome leader. You don't come here knowing all the things that you do that's on the inside of you. You didn't come here knowing that. So there is a level of communication that has to go on. When you're building your legacy, when you're building your ministry, when you're building your business, when you're building your church family, when you're building your entrepreneurship, when you're building, you have to learn how to communicate. You can't talk to everybody. You have to listen. See, the hard thing for us to do is to listen. We think we know everything, but we don't want to listen to anybody that is doing what you desire to do, or that have arrived and they are a success at what they do. So let's start listening. Let's start listening and watch who you're talking to. Who you talk to matters. Don't forget that who you talk to matters. Number 3, your body language matters. People can be talking to you and they can tell whether you're interested or not. Either you're going to be looking all the way around or your arms going to be folded. So you're not listening. You don't care to hear what they're saying. So you can't be like that. Then if you're emailing, check your message before you send it. I have a sister, my best friend. She used to tell me all the time, because I be typing so fast, then I hit send. I was like, ooh, I didn't mean to say, I made it may be grammatically incorrect, or I left a letter out of a word and it said another word. So you have to be careful, be cognizant of what you're doing when you're sending an email, when you're sending sending a text message. Be careful. Be careful. And guess what? Sometimes it's just better to pick up the phone to alleviate those kind of errors, to alleviate those. Pick up the phone and speak with the person. Hey, you said in our meeting yesterday that ABC would work. But can we discuss, see if we can do that other way around and see if it'll work better? Or should we go with yours first, then try mine next? You have to communicate. See, that's some communication. That is you're giving and taking. You're giving and taking. You're just not taking. You're not just not giving. You're doing both, because that's called a compromise. You're compromising when you have a conversation. Think before you speak. Before something comes out of your mouth, before you say it, think about it. Is it going to build somebody up? Am I pouring value in somebody? Am I hurting somebody? Am I encouraging somebody? Am I motivating? All this, when you speak, you should be motivating, you should be encouraging, you should be edifying, you should be pouring value into, you should be adding and multiplying to another person's life. You should not be dividing and subtracting in someone's life. Because that's not the kind of person you need. Somebody that's going to divide in your life. Somebody that's going to subtract in your life. You want people that add and multiply to your life. They're pouring value. They're telling you, you are awesome. You dope. You are the best of the best at what you do. See, they're building you up. They're edifying you. They're raising your own bar up for you. That's what you need. You need those type of people. And you want to treat everybody right. The golden rule says, treat others the way you want to be treated and not the way they treat you. Treat others the way you want to be treated and not the way that other people treat you. See, the Bible says that we're supposed to love. He didn't say like. He didn't say be acquaintance. He said love everybody. So that's what we're going to do. You're going to love one another. You're going to respect each other individually. You're going to respect each other's ideas. It's all about communicating. If we never, do you know the worst thing in the world is a misunderstanding because no communication has taken place? Or miscommunication has taken place? That is not what you need. You need to be, everybody needs to be on one accord. So how is that going to happen? You're going to develop and continue to develop your communication skills. Once you develop your communication skills, you will be able to move to higher heights. But you have to know how to talk to people. You have to know when to listen, when to be quiet, and when to speak. Understand, just because it comes in your head doesn't mean you say it. Watch what you say. Watch your attitude. Watch the frown on your face. Always have a positive attitude and a smile that will light up a room, that will brighten up a room. So tonight, develop your communication skills. That's what it was all about tonight. I hope you all have gotten something out of these 10 tips. Y'all be blessed. I love you. We'll be back tomorrow night. Not sure what the topic is going to be, but motivational mamas with Gigi Smith will be back on tomorrow night as well. And I encourage you, just if you have to go back and look at the replay, just write all the tips down so you can begin to develop your communication skills. You all be blessed. Gigi loves you. God loves you. G loves you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Be blessed.